Alright, so I know I said yesterday that I was going to make a video on teams most likely to make trades at the trade deadline, and I am going to. I just didn't think I would get any footage of what happens during All-Star Weekend, but as it turns out, I did. So I guess I'll be recapping the All-Star Weekend too. But don't worry, some juicy trade deadline news has come out, which we are going to cover first. Let's start with the big, exciting one. Now, Reggie Jackson is always being linked in trades to Orlando, and that's personally where I see him going as well, to be honest. I mean, Rob Hennigan, who worked in Orlando when Reggie was drafted, was very fond of Jackson back then, and he is now the GM of Orlando, so there is that connection. So let me just tell you guys real quick what teams and players will be involved in the trade, and then we will discuss it further. So it's a 3-team trade involving the Magic, the Pistons, and the Lakers, in which the Pistons will receive Lou Williams from LA and Mario Hezonja and Elfrid Payton from Orlando. The Lakers get DJ Augustine as a protected first-round pick from Detroit. No word on what year though, I'm assuming this year. And the Magic get Reggie Jackson, Reggie Bullock, and Beno Udrih. Now right off the bat, I'm a Detroit fan, so I might be a bit biased in this one, considering I want Reggie gone, and I said earlier in the season how much I would like to see Payton play for Detroit, as it would be a pretty good fit. But overall, I do see how this trade gets everyone something they want. Let's start with Detroit though. Reggie Jackson is a scoring point guard. Detroit is a team that has lots of guys that can score the ball. They just need someone to get it to them. Hence why the offense flows better when Ish Smith is in the game instead of Reggie Jackson. Elfrid Payton has always been a pass first point guard. Of course he has struggled with this jumper, but I mean his shot is getting better. It's not like Ricky Rubio bad or anything. This year he's averaging 12.5 points per game and just under 6 assists in 30 minutes per game off the Orlando Magic bench, while shooting 46% from the field and 27% from 3. Now, before any of you Pistons fans puke, just think about it. Ish Smith can barely shoot as well. But we don't need a scorer, we need a distributor, which is something Payton has proved he can be given the opportunities. On top of that, he's a better defender than Reggie. Well, that's not very hard to do or anything, but still. And then Detroit would also get Lou Williams, who was an off-the-bench scorer that the Pistons could use to go alongside Harris off the bench. And then they also get Hezonja, who hasn't done much at all in his first year and a half in the league, but he's still young, right? Who knows, maybe he turns into something. So on Detroit's side, when you get Elfrid Payton and Lou Williams, this really seems like a no-brainer. However, now let's move on to Orlando. Basically, they get Reggie Jackson. I mean, they get Beno Udrih and Reggie Bullock too, but who cares about that? So why would they want Reggie Jackson? Well, the GM gets a player that he has liked a lot back since OKC. He can be a dynamic scoring point guard around the rim. He's gotten off to a bit of a slow start this season coming off of a knee surgery, but I do believe that he will get back to how he used to be and can be capable of scoring around 20 points per game. And for the Magic, this will give them the starting lineup of Reggie Jackson, Evan Fournier, Terrence Ross, Aaron Gordon, Nikola Vucevic, or whoever they trade Vucevic for. There is some potential in that starting lineup too. And they don't really give up much outside of Payton, who they're looking to move anyway, so I wouldn't say it's a bad trade for them either. And lastly, for the Lakers. Well, in my last video, I made a mistake when I said their pick was top 5 protected. It's top 3. That means they have to lose every single game they can, and in order to do that, Lou Williams must be stopped. I mean, this guy is going out there and almost single-handedly winning games for them, and they really can't afford to win any games. And all they probably want for him is a draft pick. I'm guessing if the pick is protected, it's most likely like top 10 protected or something from Detroit, so it's basically as good as theirs for the most part. And when it comes to trading Lou Williams, the only teams that will be interested in him are playoff teams looking to bolster their bench. And no playoff team really has that many assets outside of picks to get rid of. So trading him to the lowest seeded playoff team would make sense, because let's say you trade him to Washington or a higher up team like that. Because their record is better, the draft pick that you get would be later in the draft compared to if you traded Lou Williams to Detroit or another 7th or 8th seeded team. And that's basically the trade. On paper, it looks like a legit trade that could go down, but sometimes it's the ones that look like they make too much sense are the ones that will never happen. Well, yesterday we talked about how Anthony Davis says he is staying with the New Orleans Pelicans. He wants to be one of those guys that stays with the team his whole career. Paul George might not share that same sentiment. He said yesterday that he told Larry Bird that all he cares about is winning. He doesn't care about getting empty stats on a team that's not competing for anything, and he wants to be somewhere that gives him the best shot at winning. Basically telling him, hey, Larry Bird, build me a team that can win, or I'm out of here. And in response to that, the Pacers came out and said that their first round draft pick this year is available in a trade to get PG-13 some help. Now, there is no need to panic yet if you're an Indiana fan. You have Paul George through the 2018-2019 NBA season, so there still is a bit of time to get him that winning team that he desires. Also, for anyone saying that they're going to trade Paul George because of this, they're not. Like I said, they still have plenty of time to build him a team. They already have Jeff Teague, who has been balling as of late, even though he is set to become a free agent this summer, and they also have a great young talent in Miles Turner. So at the moment, they do have a couple of nice pieces around Paul George, and they still like, CJ Miles, who is a nice player, but it would be better if they could bring him off the bench. And then they also have Thaddeus Young, who has been nice as well when he's been able to play. But overall right now, the Pacers just really don't have an identity as a team. A few years back, they were known as a defensive juggernaut, but now I really don't know what to call them. So I think they need to figure out who or what they are, or who or what they want to be, and then go out and try to find players that will fit the mold of the team they are or the team that they are trying to be. That's it for the news though. Now I guess I'll just show you guys basically what went down in the USA vs World Rising Stars Challenge last night. Alright, so the USA versus the world. Karl Anthony Towns, Jahlil Okafor, Devin Booker, and D'Angelo Russell versus Kristaps Porzingis, Buddy Hield, Nikola Jokic, and Jamal Murray. The world won 150-141. Remember that game that Denver played? I think it was versus Indiana in Europe or something, where they scored like 147 or 148 points, something crazy like that. I find it funny that that was basically how many points were scored in this game. Granted, this game was only 40 minutes long, and the regular NBA game is 48 minutes long, but there's also no defense being played in the Rising Stars game. In the NBA, there is, or at least there is supposed to be. No defense would have stopped rookie Jamal Murray though yesterday, as he got hot, hitting 9 of his 14 3-point attempts to score 36 points and win the MVP award. Congratulations to him, and really to everyone else that played in this game. It's just a reminder that the NBA is in good hands when you take a look and see all the young talent out there on the court. I guess I'll list some other stats real quick though. Buddy Hield also scored 28 points for World, Porzingis had 24, and Frank Kaminsky led the US team with 33 points, and Karl Anthony Towns had 24. That wraps up all the action for the day 116 recap though. No actual games from last night, so there is no player of the day today. But the player of the day yesterday was John Wall and his 20 points and 12 assists. Other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow with any more news and hopefully a recap of the events that went down in All-Star Weekend. So until then, I guess keep getting them buckets, Team SDC, and I'm out of here. Peace!